Alright, it's only me. I'm on the night. I'm going to talk about Foreigner. No foreigners, there's people spend too much time these days talking about foreigners. I'm talking about Foreigner, the classic band for the late 70s into the, well, right through the 80s into the early 90s here. Massive selling stadium rock band, Foreigner, who have just released this today. It's the deluxe edition of their classic fourth album, Foreigners 4, which is also got the first time the band had been down to 4 members. But just a bit of background of what this kind of music's all about. In the early 70s, you had the breakout of American hard rock and progressive rock selling big numbers of albums. And then round about the 1976, you had bands like Kansas and Boston and Styx, who developed a kind of pompous style of rock, which was kind of mix of straight American hard rock, but with the kind of catchier instrumental passages for progressive rock stuck in there. And particularly Boston and Styx sold absolutely massive amounts of albums. Ken Styx had like 4 consecutive quadruple platinum albums. So then you got a lot of bands coming in the slipstream of that kind of stuff, specifically designed to become massive selling album bands, but also having hit singles, because the early 70s, if you're a rock band, bands like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin wouldn't release singles, certainly not if they were part of an album, because they want to see it as some kind of artistic statement. Whereas you get these bands coming through like Foreigner and Journey, who wanted the best of both worlds in there and make albums that would appeal to both the rock fans and maybe a kind of pop audience. And it worked. It worked. When you think of 1981, which is when Foreigner's 4 album came out, you also had Journey's Escape album. That uses massive selling stadium bands in there. Foreigner was a band created by the guitar player Mick Jones, who is still, I think still goes out and plays the old date with Foreigner, the last remaining original member. And there were 3 guys from Britain, including ex-King Crimson ex-King Crimson guitar player, keyboard player Ian MacDonald, and Dennis Elliott on the drums, and 3 American guys, the American singer Lou Gramm, keyboard player Al Greenwood, and bass player Ed Gagliardi, if memory serves. And then they would make the first 2 Foreigner albums very strong albums. And then they would make their first personal change in there when it come to their 3rd album, bringing on Roxy Music bass player Rick Wills coming in there and making it a 4-2 split in favour of the British in there. But the Head Games album, a bit disappointing. Some amazing tracks on there. The title track, Head Games, is particularly strong, but nowhere near as good as their first 2 albums, which had been merely good, no great. So when it come time to make this 4th album, Foreigner 4, Mick Jones brought in Mutt Lange, fresh with success and making albums with AC/DC, to co-produce the album. No produce it by himself, co-produce with Mick Jones. And in the process doing that, they decided that it was time for Ian MacDonald and the keyboard player Al Greenwood to leave the band, cutting down from a 6-piece to a 4-piece. So that's how this all ties in here, because you've got this album, which is the Foreigner 4, but also their first album here with 4 members. So let's have an open up of this and see what it's like. I'm going to set the camera there, so hopefully it won't fall. But what this is I had no idea what this was going to be. I pre-ordered this months and months ago, because this is a phenomenal album. This There's some bands where you can sit and argue that this is the best album or that's the best album. With Foreigner, just like Uriah Heep. Uriah Heep have got Demons and Wizards, which for me is just like far and away their best album. Ken made other good records, but there's just something special about that record. It's the same for me with Foreigner. This is the peak of Foreigner. After that, they couldn't follow this album. They had big hit singles and everything after this album, with like I Wanna Know What Love Is and everything. But this album, start to finish, is absolute gold, man. So let's have a look at what we've got in here. It's a 4 CD with a Blu-ray, and it's got a new stereo remix. I don't know who remixed it, because I don't think it was Mutt Lange, but there's outtakes on here, one of which has been on YouTube for a few months. Pretty good track. Would have made any other Foreigner album, but didn't make this one. Instrumental rough mixes, a complete live show for the 4 tour, and a 60-page booklet telling the story. Go a lot more in depth there than what I just did. So let's open this up and have a look at what we're getting here for our money. See, I've been buying the Jethro. This is the same format as what the Jethro Tull box sets come in. Fantastic, really nice, like a book, a bound book with the CDs on the CDs on the inside there. Points off already for this one. As soon as you open it, the CD falls out, but it's not been packed properly. But normally there would only be, with the Jethro Tull ones, usually only 2 discs on the side there, whereas with this it's 3. And 2 discs at the back there. And what you've got in here is, it'll just be like in the style of the album cover, an essay there with just detailing probably in more depth the kind of stuff that I've just told you. And you've got things like pictures, like single covers, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and they've got they're breaking down the individual tracks, track by track, which is pretty good. I'm assuming there must be some pictures in here, because with these American AOR bands, as they call them, which is album orientated rock, also sometimes called adult orientated rock, these guys love getting a picture taken. But this is fantastic, this album. I mean, when you look at the track list in there, starting off with Nightlife, which is maybe a bit of a kind of low-key opening number in there, but you go absolutely classic tracks like Jukebox Hero, the big ones on the album, Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and Urgent. 3 massive hit singles. Well, I was talking about the other week there, when you talk about Back in Black, when you get a song like, I don't know, it's Shake a Leg, for example, only on any other AC/DC album, that is one of your standout tracks, whereas when you've got an album as strong as Back in Black, it's just another song. Whereas with this, you've got the like 3 monster tracks, which are absolute classic, radio rock classics. But when you think of the songs running about the supporting material, like Break It Up, Don't Let Go, and I'm Gonna Win, absolutely fantastic stuff. So I'm looking forward to this, because it's got a Dolby Atmos remix here on the Blu-ray. So I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be listening to a bit of Foreigner. Also interesting after this is Mutt Lange. I can't remember if Mutt Lange recorded High and Dry with Def Leppard before, because it came out in 1981. But certainly by the time it came to 1982-83, when Pyromania was released, Mutt Lange had obviously learned a lot from Mick Jones and Foreigner, because if you listen to Pyromania by Def Leppard, it's a mixture, the AC/DC style that he was doing mixed in with the style he was doing on Foreigner 4. He had cracked the code to break the American market. Mutt Lange knew what sell records in America, and he learned it for AC/DC and Foreigner. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So I'm going to go and listen to Foreigner. This set you back maybe about, I don't know, 40, 45 quid. But definitely worth it. It's an absolutely classic album. I'm just hoping that we get one of these for Journey's Escape. That'd be nice. Just mentioning when they're talking about the live show here, it's a compilation show. It says in the back here, all tracks in CD4 recorded live in concert. It's a lot of that stuff's been available. Mostly it's for Anaheim, and with a couple of a couple of songs there recorded in Birmingham and a couple recorded for Dortmund on the Foreigner 4 tour. These shows have all been available for quite a long time. Some of the tapes been used for what's that album called again now? It's like a Foreigner Live album with Lou Gramm. I think it's maybe called The Best of Foreigner Live, so there'll probably be some of that stuff mixed in here. But I'm really looking forward to listening to this. It's going to be great stuff. So this is one Foreigner that you don't have to debate with anybody about. This is fantastic. Pick it up, man. It's good stuff. Have a nice weekend, everybody. See you later.